Are you happy? You voted for this. Are you starting to see the errors of your ways? For zang-a-lang and salutations, my lovely little lunatics. It's me, your friendly internet psychopath, Insanity, here with my co-host, Bob.
Hello.
And today on the Insane Report, we're talking about the Biden gaffes and the G7.
With the pippities and the poppities and the gaffs everywhere.
But before we do that, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and follow us on Locals,
PocketNet,
Minds,
and Rumble. Anywho, let's get on with it.
Let's. So, recently they held the G7, which is when a bunch of very important countries get together and let's figure out what we're gonna do this time.
Do we pay attention to it?
Not really.
Why?
Because it doesn't really affect most of the normal people.
Well, it does.
But at the same time, it's the same shizzles on a different day. Excuse me. Well, let's get into it, shall we?
I'm betting Biden made a lot of goofs.
A lot of gaffes.
And a lot of your nose.
Ha! Let's get into it. We have several stories, but from the Daily Mail. I'm going to get in trouble with my staff. Biden says he isn't allowed to answer any more questions amid criticism his handlers won't allow him to talk to journalists.
Yeah, that's the way the president of the United States should be.
Yes. The president of the United States can't go and answer questions that he can't actually answer because he doesn't know where he is and what's going on. Joe Biden on Sunday held a press conference at the end of the G7 summit. Biden said that his team had planned who he was going to take questions from. He laughed and said he was going to get in trouble if he broke their plan. The 78-year-old is known for his folksy, freewheeling rampart with the media. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said she tries and fails to rein him in.
God, it's sad.
It is. Joe Biden hinted at being controlled by his press advisors during the G7 summit press conference on Sunday when he joked about he shouldn't be answering questions or he'll get in trouble with the staff. Biden spoke for 12 minutes to sum up the meeting held in the United Kingdom. Now, why I take some of your questions. Now, why don't I take some of your questions? He said at the end of his remarks. After fielding a question from the Associated Press on his plans for meeting President Vladimir Putin on Wednesday in Geneva, he turned to a Bloomberg reporter for his second question. I'm sorry, I'm going to get in trouble with staff if I don't do this right away. He said, then calling on Jennifer Jacobs of Bloomberg. He took further questions from Reuters, the Wall Street Journal, and his final question, NBC News. Yet, as he began to walk away, more questions were shouted back at him. I'm going to be in trouble with my staff, he said, turning back to the press. Yeah, go ahead, but I can pretend that I didn't answer you. What? During the press conference, he also got Syria and Libya mixed up. I hope we can find an accommodation where we can save the lives of people, for example, in Libya, the president said, mentioning the North African country for the third time instead of Syria, which is in the Middle East. See, here's the thing. I don't know all about that.
But you're a normal person with average stuff in the daily life of normality.
Yes! Also the thousands of voices in my head. I'm not the president of the United States. I'm not meant to know things like international politics. The White House later brushed the confusion off, confirming that it was indeed Syria, the country where Russia and the U.S. have been involved in a decade-long civil war, which the president was referring to.
Actually, we do know at least that much.
Yes, I didn't know the context of the rest of the stuff, but so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. There you go. The exchange bore echoes of similar encounters last month at the White House. Biden, following a series of meetings on CCP-19 vaccine and infrastructure, chatted to the press before remarking, I'm not supposed to be answering all these questions.
Is that your Biden?
I don't remember what he sounds like. I don't listen. I try to avoid hearing his words. It kills brain cells. His remarks have given fuel to right-wing critics who accuse Biden of being senile. He is senile. As someone who has mental issues, I can tell someone else who has mental issues.
Yeah, he got them.
He got them bad. As far as I can tell. And being controlled by minders. Sean Hannity, the Fox News host, has nicknamed him Sippy Cup, saying he needs to be treated like a child.
It's really sad. Just let the old man just live out his last few years before he passes away.
It is sad that they had to do this. And it also suddenly makes that whole thing about what Obama said. You don't have to do this. I can't remember. I don't remember the voices I used for these people. I don't listen to them that often anymore. Jen Psaki, White House press secretary, said that she frequently urged the 78-year-old to refrain from chatting with the media and taking questions. He's the president of the United States. That's his job.
Well, part of his job.
Part of his job. He takes questions nearly every day he's out from the press, Psaki said on a podcast to me. Why is she on a podcast?
I think the other lady was.
Yeah, you're right. But actually, she was good at her job. Psaki.
We'll circle back to it.
Psaki. That is not something we recommend. In fact, a lot of times we say, don't take questions. But he's going to do what he wants to do because he's the president of the United States. Yeah. Well, I was originally going to get into this, which he mixes up, but now. Anywho. Which one? Well, there's the one thing where he kind of walked back what was going on with Putin. Because Putin was like, he conflated what he did, I think, Shogi, to what happened to the one lady at the Capitol.
Yeah, aren't they suing? Aren't they doing FOAs?
FOIs. FOISA. Freedom of Information Acts. To get out and find out who the police officer actually shot her.
Yeah, because they don't want to release it.
Yeah, because it doesn't fit the narrative.
Because there's video and everything showing it doesn't fit the narrative.
Exactly. Anywho, let me take a sippy of my adult juice.
Less rum next time.
Less rum. Anywho. But, I'm going to go over the quick little thing here, and then we're going to go to the funny video. The funniness. Wow, it's only been 6 minutes.
You need to pad this out longer.
Nah.
Yeah, you're right.
Biden calls Putin a bright, worthy adversary instead of a killer and warns the U.S. will respond in kind to aggression while taking questions from another list of pre-approved parties. Biden took a series of questions in Brussels about his upcoming Putin summit. He said the pair should decide where it's in our mutual interest and the interest of the world to cooperate. Said U.S. would respond in kind if Putin doesn't cooperate. He called Putin a worthy adversary rather than a killer like he used to. He said leaders thanked me for being willing to talk with them about the meeting with Putin. Declined to repeat killer line after he took a long pause when asked about it.
He probably just forgot about it.
He probably did forget he said that. The president took questions and printed cards after meeting reporters wait 2 hours for press conference. Maybe my brain's a little addled. That didn't seem right. Correct sentence there. Earlier, Putin denied allegations of election interference and hacking. We have been accused. Oh, sorry. Biden brain.
Oh, we gotta make that a thing.
The Biden brain. No one wants the Biden brain. We have been accused of all kinds of things, Putin told NBC in an interview. Not one time did they bother to produce any kind of evidence or proof, just unfounded accusations. Putin pointed to charges against Capitol rioters to deflect questions about protecting political opposition figures. Putin and Biden are set to meet at a villa in Geneva on Wednesday. So, this basically goes on. No, quiet you. To talk about that. But I think we're going to end off on the little bit of the funny note. This right here. This was that video of poor Biden walking into a cafe having no idea what's going on and then getting laughed at when Jill comes and gets him.
Oh, it's sad.
It really is, but let's watch.
How are your meetings going in Cornwall, Mr. President?
I beg your pardon?
How are your meetings going here in Cornwall?
Very well.
Come on.
Really nice evening. They always do.
Now, in all honesty, I feel really, really bad for the guy.
I do too. It reminds us of our grandpa.
Yeah. Towards the end, he stopped knowing where everything was. Luckily, well, I don't know. I think ALS is what took him, but he started showing signs of, like, dementia.
Yeah, it sucks that he went the way he did, that we weren't able to be there since we were so young and our parents didn't want us kind of associating him being that weak.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, I'm glad he went earlier than the dementia taking him, and I feel really bad for him. It's one of those things, yeah, he has done a lot of bad things. I honestly believe he just cares about himself. He's like most politicians. Once they get in, they never want to get out.
Because it's easier than actually having to do anything else. People always told us we should be a politician.
And if I had never done any of this, sure, probably would have.
Yeah, in all honesty, every time we've had to do politics in like groups or clubs, it's been really easy.
It's been really easy to get people to think what we want them to think because we're very charismatic like that. The problem is, if I were to become a politician now,
Oh, the amount of dirt people would dig up on us.
or maybe I could go like the one helmet guy.
Or the boot dude.
That would be hilarious. Insanity! I may be insane, but at least my politics aren't crazy.
Yeah, but anywho.
Yeah, it's just proof again. People did not vote for Biden. They voted against Trump. They wanted the mean they wanted the mean tweets to go away. They wanted Big Orange Man to go away. And the biggest, saddest thing about all this stuff is if I bring out actual stories with facts and sources and all this to the lefties, they'll claim fake news and show me one thing written by a random person with an anonymous source with no actual anything behind it. And they'll claim that's real. That's where the good news is. Like, at my age, I was young when I was young when Bush Jr. was around. I was voting age with Obama. And God.
Yeah, back then we were stupid.
We didn't know anything, and that's the problem. People now, they don't know what Biden did. People I talk to have no idea. They weren't around. They weren't old enough to vote or understand any of this. So when I tell them, yeah, Biden did this, right? They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, he was vice president. He did all of this stuff. They're like, well, I wasn't around for that. I was like, so you're saying that that you didn't do any background checks, that you didn't actually do your own looking. You just...
It's like with Ethan.
Ethan Klein, just believe. There's no reason to do your own research. Just believe, bro. Like, I tune into the news and I just listen. And why would they be the news if they didn't tell us the truth?
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that sometime.
Maybe, eventually. I know Ethan has skin thinner than wet tissue paper.
Yeah, but it'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be. Anyhow, so that's the end of this little video. If you like this video, then check the like button and subscribe for more.
ENSane.
And I will see you all later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Subscribe.